You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Let's take a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. An easy pose or sukhasana is nicely, crossing the legs in front of you. They don't have to be too tight. I'm actually kneeling on my bolster because I find this the most comfortable posture these days. But you can take butterfly if you like. And let's take our Vajra Pradama Mudra. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Vajra Pradama. So you interlace the fingers all the way they go right in nice and deeply, and then the other two fingers at the top, so the index finger and the middle finger, are a little bit looser. So they're tightly knitted down at the base of the ring and the little finger, and then the other fingers are just nicely spread out, and the thumbs just point out to the sides. And you just rest that just underneath the sternum, near the heart center, and just drop the shoulders down. Let the shoulders relax and become heavy, and the elbows and the wrists are nicely relaxed as well. So it shouldn't feel too rigid, this mudra. Vajra Pradama. So you can choose to close the eyes here, or you can take a soft gaze looking downwards to the front of your mat. And just allow yourself to connect and anchor yourself to seated posture onto the mat. Relaxed yet firm. Connecting to your breathing rhythm, breathing in and out of the nostrils. Letting go of your morning so far. However long that morning has been, whatever time that you rose, whatever has taken place to get you to your mat this morning, just let that all go. And also let the rest of your day go. So become completely present with yourself here, as if this was your first time sitting down and beginning a yoga practice. Really sensing and experiencing everything that you're feeling right now. Now, Vajra Pradama Mudra brings enthusiasm, it brings trust, and it brings confidence. And maybe just for a moment, look back to your very, very first yoga practice, if you can remember that. However long ago that was, see if you can remember even just the smallest of details about your very first yoga practice. Maybe you can just remember the location. Maybe you can remember where you were. Maybe you can remember something about how you felt during the practice. Whatever that was. And remind yourself, if you felt a little bit nervous that day, you didn't quite know what to expect, or were you enthusiastic about trying something new? And then bring yourself back to this practice today. Each and every day is a new practice. Each and every day is a new day. Embrace bliss. Life is to be enjoyed, and moments of bliss are to be welcomed. When good things happen, embrace the moment and know that you are worthy of feeling this good. Breathe in the feeling of bliss and sit with the happiness. Be joyful. Staying present allows the joy to sink in and raises your energetic vibrations. Give gratitude for these moments in your life. And for our practice today, be that beginner once more. Look at your practice through the eyes of the very first time you came to your yoga mat. Learning, exploring, discovering, feeling new things. And know that you have this enthusiasm, this trust, and this confidence as it guides you through your practice today. Changing the mudra and interlacing the fingers all the way in, extending the arms up towards the sky. Start to stretch the sides of the body and flip the palms over so you can press the inside of the palms and the knuckles away. Maybe you like to lift the gaze as you open the chest, lifting out of the lower back, opening the upper back and the chest, and making sure that the shoulders are relaxed away from the ears and the neck is long. You're supporting the neck and looking up towards the hands. Release the hands forward as you round through the spine, tucking the pelvis underneath you, drawing the navel towards the spine, relaxing the chin towards the chest, pressing knuckles away in front of you. Breathing in and out. Nice and slowly, release the arms down to the side, palms face up onto the knees, and just sit with a long spine and just feel your fingers here releasing from that little stretch through the mudra. Wiggle the fingers, bring some movement back into the hands and start to circle the wrists. Circle into the shoulders. And you're going to circle forward and up and back and down. So really trying to get a full big circle, as if you were drawing a big circle with the top of the shoulders. So breathe in as you lift the shoulders all the way up to the earlobes, and breathe out as you circle them back and down. And we're going to go the other way. So you're going to come back, you're pulling the shoulder blades together. They go up towards the earlobes. They come forward and down. So these are really nice, slow and steady movements. I always feel it's a bit weird coming forward. I like the opening, but I don't quite like the feeling of the coming forward. Just a few times more with your breath. And then reaching the arms up and back, big, big circle. And interlace the fingers behind your back here. Open the chest and press the knuckles down. So you can press the knuckles towards the earth, opening up the chest, drawing the elbows in towards one another. And again, the gaze may go to the sky, but support the neck here. Try not to let the neck collapse and drop back. Lengthening the sides of the body, lengthening the front and the back. Breathing in. Breathing out. And releasing the hands, bringing back into center. Let's lift up and over. Nice lateral stretch here, reaching over, breathing in, open the rib cage, breathing out, deepening the reach. Breathing in, bring to center, and breathe out, take it up and over. So again, try not to collapse through this side body. You're lifting and you're rotating the rib cage. Breathe in. Feel the expansion. Breathe out, reaching fingertips a little more. Good. Breathe in, bring yourself back, lift the knees together, and then bring the feet out into parallel. So a little test of our twisting here. If you've got your block handy, you can use that between the thighs. This stabilizes the knees, because what tends to happen is that when we take a twist, we're wanting to twist so much that our opposite knee kind of shunts forward a little bit. So see if you can just keep the knees and the hips nice and stable in the twist if you don't need the block. So we're going to reach the right arm over the left knee and opening up to the side. Take a look forward, see what's happened to that knee. It may have moved already a centimeter or an inch. And that's basically your hips are kind of moving forward. So try to keep those knees nice and parallel, opening up through the back shoulder, looking towards the back of the mat or the front of the mat, whichever feels most comfortable for the head and neck. I quite like looking forward, actually. Doesn't put any pressure into my neck. Breathing in, breathing out, and then breathe in, come back into center. Take your left hand over your right knee, again, making sure that that hip doesn't travel forward, keeping those knees nice and parallel and opening up through the twist, looking forward or towards the back shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring back into center and then swing the legs around behind you. Let's come into a child's pose here. First of all, we'll take our nice wide-legged child's pose. So knees go wide, big toes touch. Release the hips back towards the heels before coming into the child's pose position. So you can give yourself a little bit of wiggle room here. And the chest is still upright. Then you're going to release through the spine, release through the belly, and reach the fingertips forward as if you're clawing the mat back towards you. Maybe the forearms come down, maybe the head comes to a block or to the mat. And then notice as you've reached the fingertips forward, you might have pulled the hips away from the heels. So again, think of this as if you've never been into child's pose before. The inhale lengthens the spine. The exhale relaxes, releases, and deepens. And through each of all of these postures, what is the benefit? What are we trying to achieve here? What do you feel? What do you experience? This lengthens the spine. It starts to release into the hips. Let's come into an active child's pose. So we're going to lift up. We're going to bring the knees together. You're going to get the ankles and the toes together, and you're going to reach back. You're going to fold from the hips so that the belly comes free of the thighs. And then reach the fingertips forward up onto the fingertips. And then maybe the head comes down between the biceps again. The arms are off of the mat. They're reaching forward. They're active. They're engaged. And notice now the breath here may have changed because we've got no space between the belly and the mat. We're compressing the belly, the chest into the thighs. So breathe through the rib cage, front, back, and sides. Get more of the breath out of the back of the body. You're going to take a twisted child's pose. So we're going to walk the hands out to the right side of your mat. And this is where you lift up the belly. Again, getting that belly free of the thigh, keeping the knees together, and then reach the left fingers further forward than the right. Maybe the head comes down, maybe it just rests by the biceps. Notice the stretch down the left side, all the way from that little finger right back to the hip. And find the breath. If ever you lose focus, just return back to your breathing. It will guide you through the postures. Walk the fingertips back through center, little spider fingers, over to the left. Inhale, lengthen the spine, get the belly free of the thigh. Exhale, release, and you're reaching the right fingers forward. Feel the stretch from the right little finger all the way to the right hip. Breathing in, walking the fingers back in towards the center. Take them a little bit wider. So just widen the knees, not as wide as your mat, just so that you can rest a little bit easier here. Bring the elbows to the outer edges, and you're going to place the hands into Anjali Mudra at the nape of the neck. So you're spreading the elbows nice and wide here, and just getting those thumbs in towards the neck. Fingertips are pointing down the back. So feel the chest, the armpits, the upper back, releasing and opening here. Relaxing into the facial expression, softening through the forehead as it rests onto the mat or a block, softening through the jaw and the teeth. And you can breathe probably a little bit easier here with the space between the knees and the thighs. So whenever you come into child's pose in a practice, you can always take any of these variations. Releasing the hands from the nape of the neck, we're going to come into bound child's pose, which means that the left and the right hand come to the sacrum. And that means that the shoulders will then relax over the knees. And you might just take hold of the fingers, just lightly interlacing or lightly hooking fingertips with one another. Try and relax the shoulders and round them over the knees and thighs. And just notice if the neck here is kind of compressing, or are you lengthening the neck out, lengthening the spine? Nice and slowly release the hands to the hips, bring the hands forward, and let's come into tabletop, lifting up on your breath in. And just take a look at where the knees are, where the feet are, and then bring those into alignment. Sway the hips from side to side and start to find a neutral posture here, spreading the fingers as much as you can here, looking down at the middle finger as it tracking the edges of your mat. So you can start to circle the hips forward and backwards. And if you are on a hard surface, this is particularly hard, you can always just pad out the knees underneath. Then find some cat and cows here. So we're going to take these nice and slowly. We're not arching through the neck here. We are looking forward, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, dropping the belly and lifting the sit bones. We're pushing away through the tops of the feet, the shins, and the palms. Exhaling, drawing the navel back towards the spine. The spine rounds, the shoulder blades round, and the chin comes towards the chest as you push away from the earth. Breathing in initiates the movement, going back into your cow. Breathing out into cat. So almost visualize yourself as this skeletal structure and your spine, taking away all the skin and all the muscles, and you're visualizing your spine moving one vertebra at a time. This is always a little bit more challenging in the morning after a night's sleep. Gets the spine a little bit more mobile. And then bring yourself back into neutral. So when we say a neutral, we want to have the abdominals slightly engaged, the back is nice and long, the crown of the head is reaching forward, the neck is long. So just stabilize yourself there. We've got some coordination coming up. So right foot goes back, press into the toe beds and just gently rock forwards and backwards. So you're going to start to stretch into the back of the leg, into the sole of the foot, into the Achilles, and then you're going to lift your right leg and your left arm at the same time, reaching away as you breathe in. Try to turn the right thigh downwards towards the mat, flexing into the foot, turning those right toes down. And that left hand, the palm is facing inwards. Exhale, elbow and knee come in towards the center. You're rounding through the spine. And then pushing back. So we're not externally rotating through that right hip. Inhale, stretch away. Exhale, pulling in. Keep pushing through. Right palm, strong through that right shoulder. And left foot, left shin. Last time, stretch it away. Place it down. Good work. Left foot comes back. Tuck those toe beds underneath you and then start pushing forwards and backwards. So you're just mobilizing into the toes, stretching through the sole of the foot, the Achilles, the calf, the back of the knee. Next breath in, you lift the leg and the right arm. You can, of course, keep the right arm down and just work with the leg. Turning those toes downwards, keep lifting up through the abdomen and keeping the spine nice and long. Next exhale, draw elbow in towards knee, nice and controlled, rounding spine, dropping head to chest. Reaching out, flexing the foot, turning the toes down, slow and controlled. And even the slow and controlled postures sometimes can be quite a challenge. Finding the breath, exhaling in, inhaling, reaching out. So your wrist is in line with your shoulder is in line with your hip is in line with your heel. Last time, stretch it away, pushing away from the left palm, right foot, and come back down into tabletop and come to thunderbolt position, Vajrasana. Kneeling. Come off those wrists, give them a little bit of a mobilization, circle through the wrists. So whenever we're in this tabletop position, we want to think about pushing away from the mat rather than dumping into the wrists. It's a feeling of pushing the earth away, and your shoulders and your core will support you with that. So let's come to reverse prayer. So bringing the hands back behind you. And maybe your reverse prayer is here. It's more about getting the shoulder blades open, protracting towards one another, the chest and the shoulders open. And if you wish, reverse prayer, you nestle those hands up between the shoulder blades and the fingertips might just touch. Maybe you get the heels of the hands to touch. So, sitting nice and tall, long spine, knit the rib cage in towards one another. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And let's introduce a toe stretch here. So just tucking the toes underneath you, exhaling, coming back as much as your weight allows into the toes. Let's take 5 or 6 breaths here. Nice and slowly release the hands first. Give them a little circle. Keep on the toes if you can. And then release the hands. And let's come into downward facing dog. Take this nice and steady. Toes are already tucked. Lifting the knees, pushing away from the mat, spreading all those fingers. And then bringing the chest back towards the thighs, letting the head release down. Crown of the head reaches down towards the mat. And you're just pressing the heels back, pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Nicely bent knees. Keep grounding through the palms. You're strong through the arms, strong through the shoulders. And you're pulling the shoulders down and away from the ears. Now start to release a heel at a time, stretching through one leg and the other. And you can feel the toes starting to move, stretching through the sole of the foot, the Achilles, the back of the calf, back of the knee. Give yourself a little bit of a twisting here so you can drop one knee and look underneath an armpit. Dropping the other, looking underneath the other side. When you feel ready, exhale, both heels starting to release back, just to say that both heels do not have to be down in your downward dog, but it's important that both palms are down. You're kind of got a tiger claw here in the hands, so you're engaging your Hasta Bandha, pushing into the heels of the hands, pushing into the fingertips, coming the weight out of the wrists. Exhaling, pressing chest back towards the thighs. Bring the left foot into the center of your body and then lift the right up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Turning those toes downwards, keep pressing the chest back towards the left thigh. No outward hip rotation here. The leg does not have to go high. And just make sure that the shoulders haven't twisted, drawing the right shoulder down as much as the left. Slowly release. Bring the right foot in, into the center, lifting left. Releasing right heel as you lift that left leg up, turning those toes to face downwards, pressing the chest back towards the thighs, making sure that that left shoulder hasn't lifted up too much. Nice and slowly release the left foot back into its normal place and release the right foot. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And let's come into a high plank here. Shifting the shoulders forward, keeping the body nicely in line, and then lowering the knees. Lower the chest and the chin between the thumbs. Elbows tuck in and come all the way to the mat. Bring the hands underneath the head. Come off those wrists. Big toes touch and the heels fall out to the side. Soften into this prone posture. Sway the hips from side to side. Release any tension. Breathing out. Bring the hands by the side of you, but not put any weight, not too much weight into the palms. So they're just resting by the side. Widen the feet if you need to. Hi, Indy. Hey. She's come inside. Hey. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, and you're going to tuck the elbows in towards the midline and back towards the hips. So the chest starts to lift here, and we're coming into this real nice controlled baby cobra. Now take the hands away from the mat and see if you stay and support that baby cobra by yourself. You're going to push into the tops of the feet. You're using your glutes and your back extensors to lift. Maybe you get another breath in to lift a little higher. Hands are off the mat. Reach the arms forward. Stretch them forward, biceps to ears. Palms face one another. Oh, use the abdominals, use the back muscles. Keep pressing into the legs. And then bring the hands back to the side of the body. Pull those elbows in. Hands come down and lower onto the cheek. Bring the hands back to the side of the hips. Take a moment just to rest. It's quite strong when you take the arms forward of the head. So let's try that once again. Coming back into the posture. Hands come by underneath the shoulders. They're just resting there. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Neck is long, crown of the head reaches forward. Chest is already starting to lift away, or shoulders and chest is lifting away. Tuck the elbows in, pull them back to the hips. Don't press into the hands, but simply lift hands and body. Good. Breathing. Be comfortable here. Be strong. Trust that you've got the posture. Extend the arms all the way forward. Try not to drop too much towards the earth. Keep reaching fingertips away. Bring the hands back. Place the hands and then push into the palms to come up into a little higher cobra. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Elbows are tucked in. They're pulling back to the hips. Slowly lower down. Fantastic. We're going to pull back through tabletop and we're going to go back into that downward facing dog. So press up to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Exhale, belly chest towards the thighs. Release into downward facing dog. We're going to try that all together in one movement of a connecting vinyasa. So with the breath, we exhale, downward facing dog. We inhale into plank. We exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down, body down. We inhale, roll the shoulders, lifting into cobra. We exhale, lower, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Let's try once more. With the breath, inhale, plank. Exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Releasing to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, everything goes back together. Downward facing dog. Let's look forward and start to walk the feet towards the hands and walk all the way to the front of your mat. Take the feet hip width, lift the heels, lift the toes, make sure that you feel the foundation of the feet. Lengthen the spine into your half lift and then fold from the hips, bending into the knees, getting the belly and the chest as close to the thighs as you can. Take hold of the elbows and relax the head and the neck and just sway from side to side. Keep bending into the knees. Really allow the ankles to release and the knees. The knees stay nice and wide. They're not collapsing inwards. Just notice here the feeling. It's been upside down for a little bit, so we're going to bring ourselves up nice and slowly, rolling through the spine or bringing yourself up in a flat back. Your choice, however you like to return to standing, but take your time to return up into mountain pose. Bring the heels and the toes together. And then turn the heels out slightly. So there's about an inch. So what you do there in this mountain pose is the two knuckles of your toes come together and then you lift and turn the heels out. So you're engaging all the legs into mountain. Bring the hands in towards the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Find Samastiti here. Close the eyes if you wish, or just take a soft drishti. So really find the beginner in you in mountain pose. I know you've done this thousands of times before, but come to this as a beginner. This is your first mountain pose. Just feel everything that is going on. Make tiny adjustments into the body as you need. We're going to come through very slow, controlled sun salutations. Inhale, the arms go up, backward, bend, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold, bend at the knees, release the hands down. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine away. Exhale, bend the knees, step back, right leg. Take a nice low lunge here. Keep the chest open. Inhale, step back into plank. Exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down, all the way to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Right leg steps through. Exhale, sink into the lunge. Inhale, give yourself a little bit of impetus to exhale into the fold forward. Remember your exhale as you release. Inhale, arms raise, bring you up to standing. And then exhale, come back into that mountain pose. Toes touch, heels slightly turned out. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, melt and fold. Inhale, half lift, fingertips on shins or to the mat. Exhale, bend, step back, left foot. Find the low lunge as you inhale here. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, all one movement, knees down, chest down, chin down, body down. Inhale, cobra. Remind yourself of that posture we did. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step the left. Exhale. Inhale, give yourself that impetus to exhale to the front into the fold. Inhale, arms bring you up. And exhale, hands come back into Samastiti at the heart center. We're going to do that right and left. I'm just going to cool the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Back at the front of our mats. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, Samastiti. Take a few moments just to process. Surya Namaskar. Inhale the arms up. Upward salute. See if you get a deeper back bend. Exhale, release into the fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back with the right leg. We're going to come into a nice low lunge. So release to the tops of the feet here. Pad out that back right knee if you need to. And then come up and bring the hands onto the hips. So we're going to find our nice lunge position here. So here for me, you know, if I brought my foot back and everything was in like a 90 degree, when I start moving forward, I know that I've got quite a deep lunge and I'm putting quite a lot of compression into my knee joint here. So I want to be able to make sure that that foot is, the knee is traveling forward. So you know your body best. You know where you need to place that foot in order to lift the arms up into your low Anjanasana. Exhaling, sinking the hips down. So there's this bend into the hip flexors, bend into the knee, above the ankle. And then we can introduce a little back bend here. So we want to lift up as if somebody's lifting our sternum. We lengthen out from the lower back, keeping the hips sinking and reaching the thumbs back towards your back right heel. Gaze might go to the sky, ears between the biceps. Beautiful. Nice and slowly, we're going to tuck the back toe. We're going to lift the back leg. Oh, now that's a low lunge. We're going to plant the back foot into warrior one. So to do that for me, I know that I need to shorten my warrior one position. Now, look at your feet here. Is the right heel in line with your front heel, or do you need to bring it out just a little bit? So if we were to look at that from the front, the heel can be here, which makes it a lot more challenging. Or can we take it out a little bit, bending that front knee over the middle toe? Now notice, where are your hips facing in warrior one? We don't have to bring that back hip forward. That's the ideal, what they say. But it's your alignment. What feels good for you in warrior one? Draw the abdomen in. Warrior one can be quite strong into the back, lifting up the arms. Palms are facing one another. Bend into the front knee. Really ground through the back foot. Roll the foot away from you towards the back of your mat. Keep grounding through the heel, all of the toes. Good. We're going to come into warrior three from here. So warrior three is a closed hip posture. So we're going to lift forward, pushing into the supporting leg, Then lifting the back leg, toes are turning down. Take the arms out to the side at the moment. Just take a look and see if those arms are in line with the shoulders. Good. Drop the chest just a little bit so that we can bring ourselves into this beautiful T shape, and you can support that left supporting leg either straight, try not to lock into the back of the knee, or bent. Chest faces the mat, crown of the head reaches away. From here we come into warrior two. So we're going to plant the back foot nice and slowly with control. Whew. She says, now take a look at the feet. Have you landed your foot on the other side of your mat, or is it in line with your front heel? And then we bend, we sink. Sorry for the back of me. And lifting up the arms, relax the shoulders. So bending, 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 sending that left knee forward. Palms are facing down. You're looking along the middle finger. From here, we windmill the arms over. We turn on the back toe. Hands frame the front foot. And you step that left leg back into your three-legged dog. So hands plant, and you just simply sweep that left leg up towards the sky. Find the three-legged dog here. Stay and hold. Release the right heel. Press the chest back towards the thigh. Keep that left shoulder dropping downwards. And then release the foot. Let's come into connecting vinyasa. Inhale into plank. Lower the knees. Chest chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. So looking forward, just step the right foot between the hands. Drop down to the left. So let's find it all on the other side. We're going to start with that low lunge first of all. So bringing the hands up onto the hips, nice long spine. Maybe that foot needs to travel forward if you're going to get into that nice low lunge. Drawing abdomen in, keeping spine nice and long, arms raised. You can stay here, or you can lift up and back into crescent lunge. Pressing thumbs back towards the back left heel. Lifting out of the abdomen, lifting out of the lower back, opening chest. Bringing center, tucking the back toe. Or push through the toes, push through the front foot. Nice low lunge, great. Transitioning carefully into warrior two. I'm going to lift my body so that I can bring that left foot in. It's a difficult transition. That was a deep low lunge. So that in warrior two, again, notice where you have planted that heel. Have you given yourself a little bit of space, or is it heel to heel, which is more challenging? The arms raised, bending into the front knee. Now start to pull the left hip forward, right hip back, and ground through the back left foot. Good. Back leg is nice and long and strong. Transitioning into warrior three, changing the gaze, reaching forward, stepping into the right leg, lifting the left, turning the toes down, arms come out to the side of you. Lift up through the abdomen, press through the supporting leg. Crown of the head reaches away. Fingertips reach out to the side. With control, we're going to go into warrior two, releasing that back foot, opening that back hip, and windmilling the arms open, checking where the feet position are. Have you overcompensated, or do you need to wiggle your heels in place? Bend into the knees. Oh, it's getting hot now. Reaching the fingertips away. Make sure the shoulders are dropped. Palms are facing down, looking along middle finger. Breathing here. Back leg is strong. Windmill the arms. Turn on the back toes. Frame the front foot. Step it back into three-legged dog. Lifting up the leg. Releasing left heel. Making sure right shoulder hasn't lifted. Turning those toes down of the right foot. Release to down dog, exhale. Connecting vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Lower the knees. Chest, chin down, hips stay high, elbows tuck in, release all the way. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. We're going to come down to child's pose when you're ready. And choose any of those child's poses that we started off with. You can take a nice bound child's pose. You could take an active child's pose or a wide leg. Ooh, now it's hot. I am definitely hot now. So we're going to come into a standing balance, which is tree pose. It's one of hopefully the most beginner of balances. So exhaling into your downward facing dog, walking the hands back towards the feet at the back of the mat, exhaling into a full Uttanasana here. Maybe the toes are apart, maybe together. Whenever the feet are together, it's always more challenging in postures, letting the body release. And then rolling up through the spine, drawing abdomen in towards the lower back, pressing through the soles of the feet. Find your mountain pose first of all. Bring toes together, heels are slightly turned out. You're going to engage through your left leg, drawing those quadriceps up and really planting through and spreading the toes. Bringing the foot to either the ankle or to the calf, or taking it up towards the thigh. Try not to press it against the knee, on the inside of the knee. And then the hands can come into the heart center, and you just find this position. Push the thigh into the foot and the foot into the thigh. If you want, you can release the arms out to the side, maybe wide, or palms come together. Find the drishti, looking at something ahead of you, just a single point of gaze that is not moving. You are unshakable. Trust that you have this balance. Imagine those roots of the tree extending all the way around you. I've fallen out. It's hard to talk and balance. And slowly release the hands, release the foot. Come back into mountain pose, big toes touch, heels turn out. Breathe, let's stabilize through right leg, lifting left, either onto the ankle, the calf, or placing the foot as high into the groin as you can, pushing the foot against the thigh and pushing the thigh back against the foot. I know, if you've got slippy legs or slippy leggings or slippy clothing, this makes it a little bit more challenging. Hands can be in the heart, either out to the side or up towards the sky. You want to lengthen the sides of the body, reaching the fingers away to the sky as you ground through that supporting leg. Relax the facial expression and just breathe. You've got this. Imagine this is the first time that you're actually even doing this posture. Slowly release the hand, release the leg. Come back into mountain pose. Big toes touch, heels turn out. Closing the eyes, softening facial expression, relaxing shoulders, reaching fingertips to the earth. Inhaling arms, exhaling swan dive. Flat back, lengthen and fold from the hips. You can bend or you can keep the legs straight. Releasing the body down into the fold, walking the hands forward, releasing the feet, exhaling, final downward facing dog. Lowering the knees, releasing back through child's pose, and back to Vajrasana, rolling up through the spine to kneeling, bringing the hands onto the thighs, taking a moment. And swinging the legs out in front of you for seated forward fold. You might shuffle yourself forward because we'll obviously, after our fold, we'll come down onto our backs. Gosh, almost at the end of our practice. So let's engage the legs here, drawing the toes back towards the shins, pressing the soles of the feet away. You can always bend into the knees, but keeping the spine nice and long. You're grounding through the sit bones. Breathing in, lifting the arms up. Breathing out, reaching up and over, folding from the hips. I have my neighbor looking over the fence at me right now. Nice and deeply exhaling, letting the head relax down towards the knees. Keeping the elbows tucked in towards the body here. That's it. You can either take hold of the feet, the ankles, or the calves, but keep everything quite condensed in towards the center line, drawing navel back towards the spine, stretching through the spine, letting the chin drop towards the chest. Nice and slowly roll up through the spine, come into staff pose, which is the hands come by the hips, fingertips face forward, elbows tuck in towards one another, and you're just not flaring the rib cage here, but you're knitting the rib cage in so the spine is nice and long, elbows tuck in towards the midline, looking forward. Find energy through the posture, but not rigidness. Breathing in and out. We're going to lower ourselves down with straight legs. So you're going to reach the arms forward and start to tuck the navel in towards the spine and start to release the body, sliding down. Ooh, that's tough. And come all the way down. Release into Shavasana for one moment. Relax the feet, relax the legs, relax the arms. Relax the belly, the spine, the shoulders, and the head and neck. Draw the knees in towards the chest. roll and massage out through the hips. And again, feel that this might be the first time that you've ever done this. So notice all new things, looking at it from a beginner. Making sure the shoulders are spread out, the shoulder blades are spread out underneath you, and you're lengthening the tailbone down. Let's open the knees, releasing into the hips, circling the knees outwards and together, outwards and together. And then inwards together and outwards. So changing the rotation. And then placing the soles of the feet together in reclined butterfly. Interlace those fingers in Vajra Pradama. Bring them just on the rib cage. Let the elbows soften down by the sides of you. Let's take 10 to 12 breaths here. So the Vajra Pradama Mudra was for trust, confidence, and enthusiasm, to be able to support us through a practice. And each and every practice is brand new each and every day. You might learn something different through each posture. Extending the arms with the mudra up above the head, reaching the knuckles back behind you, stretching through the sides of the body, flipping the palms and pushing the palms away this time. Maybe the fingertips reach the mat. Try and drop the shoulders down. And then release the fingers, sweep the arms all the way around to take hold of the thighs, lifting the knees together, and take the feet wide, heels out, toes turn in, knees drop in, constructive rest. Soften through the pelvis here, and maybe the hands come to the belly. Let's take a moment to just check in. Let the body begin to cool down. Relax through the toes, the feet, the ankles, the legs. Preparing the mind for final relaxation. Preparing your posture. Maybe you need props. You can use bolster underneath the knees. Just heel toe the feet in. And then take the legs wide as your mat. And let the heels relax. Let the feet fall out to the sides, and then take the arms out to the side of you as well. Palms face up, fingertips are just gently curling, making sure that the shoulder blades aren't kind of pulling in towards one another, but you can lift up and you can pull the middle and the upper back downwards towards the mat, and the shoulder blades spread out from one another. Make sure there's no tension in the face or the neck. The neck is long. You're not dipping the chin too much towards the chest and not lifting the chin too much to the sky. Taking nice deep breaths in and out. Slow everything down here. Remaining present for the last few minutes of your practice before going back into your day. And visualize that this is the very first time that you are coming to your Shavasana. What feelings, what experiences, sensations are coming up for you? And just to be here. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths just to bring your awareness back into your surroundings, onto your mat and into the body. Wiggling fingers, moving wrists, wiggling toes, moving ankles. Taking time to bring the legs together, pointing the toes, stretching the legs, lifting the arms up, stretching, opening the mouth, stretching the face, stretching the rib cage, stretching the spine. Sweeping the arms down by the side of you. Gently lift the right and the left, knees in towards the chest, and just roll and massage out. roll over to one side and just pause there for a few breaths. There is never any rush to come back up to seated. Pressing yourself up, returning to the place where we began, bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze, sitting tall, just checking in, noticing how your body, your mind, and you now feel. And returning back to our intention of looking at our practice and also each and every day through the eyes of a beginner, finding things new, having that enthusiasm, that trust, and that confidence in everything that we do. Always thank yourself for the time you spend on your mat, and I thank you. Namaste.